Skyrim by itself is basically a museum exhibit of everything Bethesda got away with. Flat forests, stiff creatures, fires that look like GIFs, water that behaves like plastic, and wildlife that barely qualifies as alive. The game launched like this, stayed like this, and somehow Bethesda acted like that was enough, so we're doing what players have always done, fixing their homework. This lineup drags Skyrim out of its decade-old coma with real foliage, actual fire behavior, moving water, new creatures, better textures, functioning lanterns, and even guns. Raptors stroll in like they own the place. Forests finally have density. Markets stop looking like cardboard dioramas. And whole regions feel like they belong in a modern game, instead of a 2011 tech demo. If you've ever wondered what Skyrim should have looked like on day one, this is it. Let's start ripping out the dead parts and replacing them with something that feels alive for once. Forests in Skyrim have always had atmosphere, but they were never truly woods. More like scattered trees politely giving each other personal space. Traverse the Ulvenwald changes that completely. It pulls Skyrim's forests closer to real Northern Europe, dense, layered, and alive with natural variation. Birch clusters, crooked pines, heavy spruce lines, fallen timber, undergrowth that actually behaves like undergrowth, not flat green paint. Under the hood, it isn't just more trees. This overhaul introduces 370+ unique models, built to break uniform silhouettes and add believable biome structure. Height irregularity, trunk distribution, leaf thickness, ground clutter, all tuned to catch shadows and wind realistically, especially in the Rift. When sunlight filters through, you get proper depth and contrast instead of the familiar light hits one tree, calls it a day look. Ever take a walk in Skyrim and feel like the forest was pretty, but never wild? This mod flips that. Trails become tighter, sightlines shorten, and the world feels like it can surprise you again. Hunters crouched in brush, wolves emerging from ferns, the sense of stepping into nature rather than past it. Which region do you think benefits the most from a thicker, moodier forest? The Rift, Falkreath, or the tundra edge near Whiterun on a foggy morning? Traverse the Ulvenwald transforms Skyrim's greenery into something with presence. A place worth walking through slowly instead of sprinting past on the way to your next quest marker. Vanilla Skyrim animals always looked fine, functionally furry. But if we're honest, a bear shouldn't have the texture fidelity of a shaved tennis ball. Fluffworks fixes that by taking creature fur and treating it like an actual material. Layered, volumetric, and responsive to lighting instead of just being brown. This isn't a simple texture swap. Fluffworks uses shell texturing techniques similar to what you see in Red Dead Redemption 2. Stacked texture layers that simulate depth, giving wolves, bears, elk, and even horses realistic fur thickness and movement. When light hits a pelt now, it scatters softly through the layers, instead of bouncing off like you're shining a lantern on velvet-painted taxidermy. And the effect is subtle, not the "we glued feathers to a mammoth" kind of modding. Up close, you notice the individual fiber breakup. At a distance, you get believable silhouettes and shading. It blends naturally into Skyrim's world, instead of drawing attention to itself, just to brag. If you've ever stopped mid-hunt and gone, that wolf looks kind of smooth, this mod is your correction. It treats Skyrim's wildlife like part of the world, not props moving through it. Which creature do you think benefits most from proper fur? Wolves stalking snowy ridges, or bears lumbering through pine forests? Fluffworks brings the wilderness to life, not louder, not flashier, just truer. Skyrim's markets have always functioned fine. Buy bread, sell dragon bones, get yelled at by Heimskirch on the way out. But visually, most stalls look like they were assembled by someone who had never actually seen a medieval market, or would. Medieval Markets fixes that by rebuilding the vendor spaces with properly aged timber, layered clutter, hanging goods, stacked crates, and little environmental details that ground the world. What really sells it isn't just the added objects, it's the intentional placement. Different items clustered by trade, produce stacked in believable arrangements, hand-woven baskets instead of pasted mesh blobs, and merchant spaces that look lived in instead of NPC spawns here sometimes. Because when you think about it, Skyrim's markets should feel like hubs of daily life, not set dressing between fast travel points. This mod brings that backlog of bustle, without turning every town into a clutter maze that tanks frame rate or blocks nav mesh. It also plays nicely with texture packs, since most assets use vanilla material paths, meaning your broader visual modulus determines the final look. Think of this as structure and atmosphere, while your textures handle flavor. Skyrim feels more like a place where people actually trade, haggle, and haul goods, not stage props waiting for a protagonist to arrive. If mods like this are your thing, and you want to see more builds and upgrade guides like it, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it makes sure you don't miss what's coming next. There's a certain vibe to adventuring with both hands free. Whether you're dual wielding, blocking, or just refusing to put the torch away, because picking herbs in darkness feels like a survival horror mod. Simple wearable lanterns gives you the freedom to explore and see what you're doing, without juggling your inventory like Skyrim's first day intern. These lanterns sit on your belt or pack, giving off a warm, believable radius of light. No weird glow bloom, no handheld bobbing, just practical illumination that feels built into your kit. You can craft them at the forge or pick them up from general merchants. And yes, enchantments are included if you want your lantern to double as a little magical utility tool. The mod's footprint is tiny, FPS impact basically non-existent, and it fits right into Skyrim's grounded fantasy style without sticking out like a Dwemer light bulb. Do you prefer lanterns, torches, or full night vision builds? I'm always curious how players handle darkness, especially in survival playthroughs or ENB setups. You ever crouch down in Skyrim, look at the ground, and go, yeah, that's definitely a flat JPEG pretending to be gravel? Tomato Landscapes politely vaporizes that problem. This mod brings complex parallax materials to the terrain, meaning rocks, soil, paths, and mountain faces gain real depth and structure without actually being 3D meshes. Light hits the ground and behaves like it's interacting with layers of stone and dirt instead of a textured pancake. Footpaths look carved by boots and wagon wheels. Pebbles feel placed, and rocky slopes finally sell the illusion of a world shaped by time, not Photoshop filters. What I love is how subtle it is. It doesn't scream for attention, it just quietly makes every step feel more physical. Walk through Riverwood, climb the 7,000 steps, wander the tundra. Suddenly, the ground isn't an afterthought. It's part of the world again. Skyrim has always been about atmosphere. Tomato Landscapes just reminds the earth beneath your feet to join the party. Which part of Skyrim do you think benefits most from ground detail? Forests, mountains, or city roads? Skyrim's big cities get most of the attention, but the world is full of those smaller places you pass through and then realize Bethesda didn't really finish them. JK's other location steps in and treats those spaces with the same care the holds deserve. Places like Castle Volkihar, High Hrothgar, Fort Dawnguard, and the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary. Instead of clutter for the sake of clutter, you get grounded detail, expanded courtyards, lived-in interiors, new walkways and chambers, subtle lighting changes, storage, study areas, training spaces, little touches that make you feel like real people actually live and operate there. It's still lore-friendly and performance-conscious. Nothing loud, nothing immersion-breaking, just thoughtful world-building that respects the tone of Skyrim while giving its most iconic strongholds and sanctuaries the depth they always implied but rarely showed. Which location in Skyrim always felt like it deserved more attention or detail to you? Because when you walk through these spaces now, you don't just visit them, you inhabit them. Vanilla Skyrim treats fire like an orange texture someone forgot to finish rendering. This mod finally fixes that. Inferno, fire effects, rebuilds every flame in the game from the ground up. Spells, torches, campfires, candles, and braziers. New meshes, high-resolution textures, and realistic light behavior make fire look alive again, glowing, smoking, and moving with real heat instead of twitching in place like bad stage lighting. Every source burns differently now. Spells leave layered trails of light and distortion. Torches and candles spill thicker smoke, and braziers pulse with color and depth instead of flat orange blobs. The overhaul gives every flame its own character. Chaotic, bright, and unpredictable, just like actual fire should be. It's fire that finally feels dangerous. Once you see it move, you'll never look at Skyrim's old flickering flames the same way again. Skyrim treats the Daedric princes like background extras, ancient gods of chaos and corruption reduced to lumpy yard art. This mod fixes that embarrassment. Daedric Shrines AIO rebuilds every statue into something that finally looks worthy of divine fear. Cold stone, carved precision, and that unsettling sense that whatever you're kneeling before might actually answer. Every design feels deliberate now, towering forms, unnatural symmetry, and detail sharp enough to make you take a step back. They don't look crafted, they look summoned. Each shrine replaces its pathetic vanilla counterpart with something that feels ancient and deliberate, like the work of a civilization that knew better than to mock its gods. These aren't props anymore. They're monuments, still and watching, carved with intent. Which shrine would you least want to stumble across alone at night? Vanilla Skyrim dresses most adventurers like they got lost on their way to a costume contest. This mod fixes that problem. Seasoned Travaler's outfit is light armor that actually looks like it belongs to someone who's walked across half the province instead of teleporting everywhere. Leather, steel, and layered fabric. Built to move, built to last. It comes with multiple color variants, plus a full set of gear, backpacks, weapons, and the kind of small tools you'd actually expect on someone who's been living off the land longer than they've been bathing. The textures look properly worn. Cracked leather, dulled metal, stitching that's frayed in the right places. It's not flashy, it's lived in. Every detail makes it feel like you've earned your place on the road instead of being dropped there by a loading screen. Equip it, and Skyrim finally stops looking like a fashion show for lunatics and starts feeling like what it is, a hard, beautiful place you have to survive, not accessorize. Water in Skyrim can be moody. One minute it's serene, the next it decides to turn into radioactive cave slime because you walked out of a dungeon. Simplicity of sea steps in with a quiet kind of confidence, not trying to reinvent the ocean, just finally making it behave like water should. Instead of piling on heavy shaders and scripts, this mod goes for precision, fixes the infamous green cube map bug, goodbye swamp water where it doesn't belong, cleans shoreline blending so waves meet land naturally, slightly brightens and clarifies the water tone without going tropical oasis, and delivers seamless water LOD so you never see harsh lines or tile patterns in the distance. It's the kind of mod you forget is installed until you turn it off and suddenly it looks like someone smeared petroleum jelly over the rivers again. Zero world space edits, ESL light footprint, absolutely no patch circus needed. Just water. Calm, clear, consistent, and believable. If Bethesda ever did a proper Skyrim remaster, this is exactly the kind of subtle upgrade it would need. The small detail that quietly pulls immersion together. What's one visual change you feel completely transforms the game for you? Water, weather, or lighting? Guns in Skyrim sound wild until you actually see them, and then suddenly they just fit. This mod adds rifles and pistols built from iron, steel, dwarven metal, and wood, shaped like something a skilled smith or tinkerer in Tamriel could realistically engineer. No modern nonsense, no Fallout crossover energy, just grounded, low-tech firearms that feel like they belong in the world's early industrial fringe. Bandits carry them, guards carry them, travelers sling them over their backs. They fire using crossbow mechanics. They smoke and crack on impact. And ammo isn't just more damage. You can craft rounds that burst with frost, ignite targets, or release poison clouds. It opens the door to role-playing builds that feel fresh without bending Skyrim's lore out of shape. Do firearms feel immersive for you in a medieval fantasy world like Skyrim? Because here, they don't replace swords or bows. They just give you one more tool, one more story to tell, and another way to carve your path through the north. Skyrim's wilderness already has wolves, trolls, saber-cats. But now imagine stepping into the woods and hearing low, layered screeches, brush shifting, and the snap of branches behind you. Not one predator, but a pack. The Raptors mod introduces 3 feathered theropods inspired by real paleontology, forest, alpine, and plains variants, each with its own habitat, size, and behavior. These aren't mindless beasts, they hunt like coordinated ambushers. The small forest raptors dart between trees. The alpine ones stalk snowy ridges with cold feathers rippling in the wind. And the plains hunters, well, if you hear more than one, running isn't cowardice, it's biology. Their models and feathers have this grounded, natural look. Not cartoon dinosaurs, but believable wildlife. Claws, plumage, quick eyes, motion that feels predatory. And because they spawn naturally, the first time you cross paths with them won't be scripted. It'll just happen, and you'll immediately understand why ancient prey developed anxiety. Which region do you think would make the most terrifying raptor encounter? The rift, the pale snowfields, or the volcanic tundra? Skyrim's been patched, twisted, rebuilt, repainted, and resuscitated more times than the game deserves, but it keeps giving us enough space to make something actually worth playing. Every showcase like this chips away at how outdated the base game feels and turns it into something closer to the world everyone remembers in their head. If you've been here watching these builds come together, genuinely, thanks for sticking with it. The channel's closing in on 1,000 subscribers now, and it would be solid to finally cross that line. It's a small number in the grand scheme of the platform, but for a channel built on console modding, testing, troubleshooting, and showcasing all this stuff without shortcuts, it's a real milestone. Getting there means more time and freedom to put these lists together properly without rushing anything or watering it down. If you've been using the lists, adapting them to your own playthroughs, or just watching to see how far we can push this ancient engine, consider subscribing so we can lock in that 1,000 and keep building from there. Leave a like if the video helped you out. Drop a comment if you want a very specific type of list next, and subscribe if you want to see where the next set of mods takes this broken masterpiece. Appreciate you watching.